Now that you've got a Google account, you can go right into the reader and start adding subscriptions. What I like to do with a particular area of interest is start adding subscriptions that look interesting and then remove them as I go along. And I'll show you what criteria I use to make that decision. But right now I'm going to choose restaurants as an example that we can look for. So you can either enter subscriptions to RSS feeds for which you know the RSS feed name, or you can just click the Add a Subscription button, and in the field below it, enter a keyword that you want to find RSS feeds for. So in that text box, I enter restaurants, and I go ahead and hit enter, and it's going to bring up a huge list of RSS feeds that contain information about restaurants. Now I can go through and choose those and pick different ones that look interesting. A lot of them are not going to be interesting, and so it makes sense to just scan through those and ignore them. The next thing I do is I start drilling down on different variations of the keywords. For instance, now let me put in restaurants, Santa Cruz, California, which is where I live. So assuming I'm a marketing person or restaurant owner in Santa Cruz, California, I might want to do research on other restaurants or possible restaurant customers in this area. So I looked for that, and there are a lot of hits on that. Now, a lot of these are restaurant reviews on restaurant review sites, but I'm going to go ahead and subscribe to a few of those because you never know what you'll find in there. You may find restaurant reviewers who live locally or even remotely who are just visiting and put in a review of a restaurant. You may want to contact those folks directly and get them to write reviews for either your restaurant or restaurants that are your clients. So I go ahead and make those selections, and then the last selection I'm going to make is hospitality marketing and management, and I'm going to go ahead and put in some keywords related to that and select the ones that come up, the RSS feeds that come up from that, subscribe to those. And I'm going to subscribe to those RSS feeds as well, or some of them. Now, some of them are specifically aimed at hotels. If I were interested in finding hotel clients, then I might choose those. On the other hand, I prefer to, in this case, just look for restaurants. And so I'm going to only select the ones that seem to be dealing with restaurants. And in another video, I'll show you how you can use some of the information that you run across in these feeds to create content for your own site, which will then be attractive to restaurant owners and other people in the hospitality business who are surfing the web looking for somebody to help them with marketing, or maybe they don't even know they need somebody to help them with marketing, but the quality of your content will convince them that you're the person they need to hire. When you're looking at your list, there are a couple of things you're going to notice. In the left-hand pane, you're going to see a list of all of the RSS feeds that you've subscribed to. Some of those are bolded and followed by a number. If they're bolded, that means there are items in there that you have not read. In the middle pane, the main pane, you'll see that there are basically two ways to look at RSS feeds. One is the expanded view, where you get a detailed summary of the topic or the blog post. The other is the list view, which I like to use because it allows me to scan very quickly through the list and decide which ones that I'm interested in reading. And when I find one that I'm interested in reading, I go up and I select the star in the upper left corner of the item, and that essentially bookmarks that post for me. And then later I'll show you how we can search on all starred items and just look through the starred items.